Xiaomi, a consumer electronics manufacturer in China, announces their new dark factory will be launching this month. The factory will be able to operate 24/7 with zero human intervention and is expected to produce up to 60 smartphones per minute. AI health coaches have arrived. Sam Altman teams up with Arianna Huffington to create Thrive AI Health, an AI coach trained on the best peer-reviewed science that can learn about you and gives you personalized health tips. Finally, a new startup called Odyssey is building Hollywood-Grade visual AI. Their goal is to deliver the game-changing efficiencies and creativity of AI while also giving you full, fine-tuned control over every element in your scene. Jumping right into it, this is Xiaomi's new dark factory, and if you aren't familiar with the term dark factory, it's essentially a fully automated factory that can run with zero human intervention, and the dark part comes from the fact that you literally don't need lights in this factory since there isn't any humans working in it. It was honestly pretty hard to find more information about this factory since it is based in China, but I did find this short clip from the CEO's Twitter where he talks a little bit more about it. In this video, he states that their dark factory from 2019 was only able to produce up to 1 million phones per year, and now this new dark factory launching later this month can produce up to 10 million. I found this kind of weird because the article about this factory claims it can produce up to 60 phones per minute, which would end up being a lot more than 10 million per year, but the point is whether it's 10 million or more, that's still at least a 10x increase in output. The reason they are able to do this now is because of the massive advancements we've seen in AI and robotics. These robots are becoming more intelligent and generalized, allowing them to work together in tandem, creating a hyper-efficient factory that never sleeps. This is something we're likely going to start to see a lot more of. Just recently, Skild AI, an embodied AI startup, came out of nowhere receiving massive funding from big names like Jeff Bezos, Sequoia Capital, and a few other venture capitalists, bringing their company's total valuation to $1.5 billion. Their goal is to revolutionize the future of physical work by developing the first truly intelligent embodied system. So they're essentially creating a brain that can be used in various different robots and can also do a wide variety of tasks. This is a really interesting approach. Instead of focusing on creating a robot for a specific task, they're looking to create a more generalized system that can adapt to any environment. It looks like they're also betting big on scale, so this robot brain they're creating will likely receive many updates over the years as the next iterations of AI models are deployed. So definitely a company we'll be watching out for. In other news, OpenAI partners with the Los Alamos National Laboratory to evaluate how multimodal AI can be used safely by scientists in the lab. Now, this is pretty insane because the Los Alamos Laboratory is where the Manhattan Project took place back in the 40s, where they created the first atomic bomb in secret. This place has so much conspiracy and lore around it, and obviously it's not much of a secret anymore, but could this partnership just be a front for something bigger? Maybe the aliens who they have locked up in there are working on their own AI model and are willing to share some of their secrets, but only with Sam Altman. On a more serious note though, OpenAI has been relatively quiet recently aside from this partnership, and based on this tweet from Noam Brown, an AI researcher at OpenAI, they clearly have something big in the works. He says here, "When I joined OpenAI a year ago, I feared ChatGPT's success might shift focus from long-term research to incremental product tweaks, but it quickly became clear that this wasn't the case. OpenAI excels at placing big bets on ambitious research directions driven by strong conviction, along with the fact that OpenAI's lead seems to be dwindling as more companies like Anthropic or China's SenseTime are releasing models that come close to or even surpass GPT-4o on some of the major benchmarks. It seems like a major release from OpenAI is just around the corner, and I'm expecting it to be something big."
Despite what other people think, we're not at diminishing marginal returns on scale up. And like I try to help people understand, like, there is an exponential here, and like the unfortunate thing is you only get to sample it every couple of years because it just takes a while to build supercomputers and then to train models on top of them. And so the next sample is coming. And like I can't tell you when, and I can't predict exactly how good it's going to be, but it will almost certainly be better at like the things that are brittle right now, where you're like, oh my god, like this is a little too expensive or it's a little too fragile for me to use. Like all of that gets better. Like it'll get cheaper, and like things will become less fragile, and then like more complicated things will become possible. Like that is the story of each generation of these models as we've scaled up.
So that was Kevin Scott, Microsoft's CTO. You might recognize him from the Microsoft Build conference from about a month ago, but the point he makes in this clip and has made multiple times before is that scaling up these models is truly what makes them better. And people will say that these models are starting to hit a plateau, but it just takes time to scale up. Like, we really haven't seen the next iteration of models like GPT-5 yet, and every iteration of model we have seen so far has been drastically better than the previous. So logically, we can expect to see similar results moving forward. Now, we have to talk about these new AI health coaches that have recently hit the scene. So this one is called Thrive AI Health, and it was created by Sam Altman and Arianna Huffington. They point out that a staggering amount of Americans have major chronic diseases, and that a large portion of money, $4.1 trillion per year to be specific, goes towards treating these conditions. They also make the point that many of these diseases can be prevented or even better treated by simply changing the behavior of the patient. This is easier said than done, but other companies are working on this as well. Aura, the creators of the Aura Ring that tracks your sleep, have also recently announced they will be launching an AI health coach soon. So I could see this being pretty revolutionary to the healthcare industry because it's essentially like having a personal doctor in your pocket at all times. Clearly, there's a lot of people in the US, especially struggling with physical and mental health conditions, and by having access to an AI health coach 24/7 that can give you personalized tips and recommendations that fit your needs and preferences, I can see that being a huge help for a lot of people, and at the very least making people more conscious and knowledgeable about their health. Elon Musk's Neuralink team shared some updates in a recent live stream on Twitter where they discussed the potential of Neuralink being compatible with Tesla's humanoid robot Optimus.
Really, the Neuralink device just should work generally for anything that's got a Bluetooth interface.
Including potentially an Optimus.
Yes. Yeah, yes, you could communicate with Optimus. Yep, absolutely. Optimus will. Well, you'll also be able to talk to Optimus, but like,
why not just beam it?
But you could just, instead of talking, you could just beam it directly. Or if someone has lost the use of speech, then they can still communicate to an Optimus. They can communicate telepathically to Optimus or by Bluetooth, and so even if someone has completely lost the ability to speak, they could still control Optimus or their computer or phone.
So we're definitely headed into some very interesting times, and we're likely going to start to see a lot more of this highly advanced tech being used for military applications, because you can imagine that having soldiers with a Neuralink implant that can control certain things with their minds and potentially even communicate information telepathically would of course be a massive advantage. Not to mention all the other ways AI can be used in the military, like for example having autonomous killer robots. So there's definitely two sides of this coin. AI will be used to do tremendous good, but also tremendous evil. Switching gears, a new startup introduces Odyssey, a tool for creating Hollywood-grade visual AI.
Imagine artificial intelligence that's built for Hollywood. This is stunning visual AI that you direct to generate your vision and capture it perfectly, scene by scene. Breathe life into the worlds that only you can dream. Our stories will never be the same. But why would we want them to be?
So this startup is focused on giving the user more control over what they generate in order to maintain the human aspect of storytelling. One of the primary concerns people have with AI video generation is that they see it as soulless and lacking of emotion. This tool tries to find a balance between the increased productivity and creativity you can get from AI with the emotion and passion you can get from a human being. We'll definitely be checking this out once it releases. It seems like a good idea, and I haven't really seen anyone else doing this. Moving on, we have Anthropic making Claude's new artifacts feature shareable and publishable. This is something people have been asking for, and being able to work on other people's artifacts or having them work on yours is going to significantly increase the possibilities this feature brings, because when humans work together, they can truly accomplish great things. Finally, I wanted to end off the video with this clip of Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis talking about the rapid advancements of AI and its implications on the future. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
To me, it's been obvious for many, many years that AI, if it was possible, and it seems that it is, this general kind of human level AI we sometimes call artificial general intelligence, it would transform everything. So it will be at least as big as the Industrial Revolution, possibly, bigger, more like the advent of electricity or even fire. I think it has the potential to be one of the biggest inventions humanity will ever make. I think building this in a general way, these systems, they're not sector specific, they're not domain specific. Whatever kind of data you put in, if there's structure in that data, these systems can potentially learn about them. And so I'm very excited about using AI for everyday productive tasks. So, amazing digital assistants, and reimagining the workflow. I think over the next 5-10 years, we're going to see incredible gains in productivity, both in the personal domain, but also in the work environment. But then the number one thing I'm most passionate about, and I've always wanted to build AI for, is to accelerate scientific discovery itself. And we've led the way in that, and probably the most famous example of that is our program AlphaFold, which solved the problem of 50-year kind of grand challenge of what's called protein folding, determining the structure, the 3D structure of a protein just from its amino acid sequence, its genetic sequence, which has huge implications in drug discovery and disease understanding. And I think that's just one example of what we're going to see in the next decade of many scientific breakthroughs in areas like energy, material science, mathematics, weather prediction, and climate, all sorts of areas, healthcare, that AI is going to be instrumental in.